The rest a silver keychain sits upon the glass, reflecting every failure that I let a mess. I trace the metal ridges with a heavy thumb and wonder if my senses have gone fully numb.
We bought it at the market down on 43rd, before our conversations blurred into the third dimension of a silence I cannot escape. I stare into the shadows, watching shadows shape.
Pacing through the hallway of my broken mind, leaving all the promises we made behind. You told me love is patient, but the clock ticks fast. Now I am just a ghost attached to the past.
Tearing out the pages of the history we wrote, drowning in the ink, spilling from the severed note. I can still remember how you held my hand in rain. Now all I hold is nothing but the phantom pain.
The space you left is wider than the ocean tide,
and nowhere is a place that I can go and hide.
I check my phone pretending I expect a text, a solitary habit. I should be perplexed by how the memory lingers in the modern screen. A pixelated portrait of a past routine. Not box up all the sweater smelling like your hair and place them in the closet acting like I care about the moving forward that my friends advise. But everything is static right before my eyes. The coffee getting bitter in the empty mug. Another lonely feeling sweeps across the rug.
Pacing through the hallway of my broken mind, leaving all the promises we made behind. You told me love is patient, but the clock ticks fast. Now I am just a ghost attached to the past. Tearing out the pages of the history we wrote, drowning in the ink, spilling from a severed note. I can still remember how you held my hand in rain. Now all I hold is nothing but the phantom pain. The space you left is wider than the ocean tide, and nowhere is a place that I can go and hide.
Maybe I was toxic in the way I loved, holding on too tight and to push became a shove. I analyzed the data of a shattered trust until the steel we forged turns to blowing dust. If I could spin the axis of the earth reverse, I would take the blessing back before it was a curse. But gravity is pulling me against the floor, and I am knocking softly at a bolted door.
Tearing out the pages of the history we wrote, drowning in the ink and spilling from myself a note. I can still remember how you held my hand in rain. Now all I hold is nothing but the phantom pain. The space you left is wider than the ocean tide, and nowhere is a place that I can go and hide. The keychain rests exactly where it always stays, a silent little witness to the final days. I turn my back and let the shadows take control. Another empty fraction of a broken soul, another silent battle that I have to fight. Just me and these regrets fading in the night.
Still vanilla mixed with burning rubber hangs thick above the pavement. He stands beside the corner store calculating where the days went. She took the yellow taxi headed westbound toward a different borough, leaving behind a trail of sorrow cutting deep and thorough.
He tucks his collar up against the winter wind approaching fast. The mutual friends already know this evening was their final cast. The neon liquor sign illuminates the teardrop on his cheek. It took a solitary sentence just to render him so weak.
Every corner of this avenue contains a memory they painted. Now the canvas bears a massive tear and every color tainted.
He walks along the empty street, refusing shelter from the storm,
remembering the days when their affection used to keep him warm.
Two divided travelers walking in opposite directions, severing the ties of their most intimate connections. He carries all the heavy boxes of the life they meant to share. She the foggy window into cold, nocturnal air. Nothing left to reconcile and nobody to take the blame. Just a burning ember turning back into an ashen flame.
Her phone vibrates upon the leather seat, but she ignores the screen. The driver asks if she requires assistance. She stares out at the scene. Inside her pocket rests a silver ring she meant to give him back. But holding on to metal feels much better than an empty track.
He enters through the lobby doors and rides the elevator up, finding half-drunk crimson wine inside a solitary cup of silence echoes through the corridor and hits the bedroom wall. A tragic quiet settles down before the heaviest rainfall.
Every corner of the living room contains a memory they painted. Now the canvas bears a massive tear, and every color tainted.
He sits upon the velvet sofa, staring blindly at the floor,
knowing that a silhouette will never walk across that door.
Two divided travelers walking in opposite directions, severing the ties of their most intimate connections. He carries all the heavy boxes of the life they meant to share. She stares out the foggy window into cold, nocturnal air. Nothing left to reconcile and nobody to take the blame. Just a burning ember turning back into an ashen flame.
Sometimes the deepest wounds are made without a single weapon drawn. Sometimes a lover turns into a ghost before the break of dawn.
They built a palace out of promises and watched the pillars crack. A steady erosion of devotion, leaving everything in black. She crosses over bridge and tunnel, leaving history behind. He pours another glass of liquor, trying to escape his mind. Two divided travelers walking in opposite directions, severing the ties of their most intimate connections. He carries all the heavy boxes of the life they meant to share. She stares out the foggy window into cold, nocturnal air. Nothing left to reconcile and nobody to take the blame. Just a burning ember turning back into an ashen flame.
The taxi meter stops and she unloads her luggage in the cold. He closes both his weary eyes and lets the sorrow take its hold.
The city sleeps below a blanket made of gray and velvet clouds. Two lonely souls navigating through the heavy midnight crowds,
Lost within the rhythm of a song that ends without a chord.
paying for a consequence that neither spirit could afford.
Heavy silence fractures when I recall your silhouette blurring in the doorway hall. The street lamp cuts through the slender window blind, painting striped shadows on the mess we made tonight. Dust dances in the amber glow of the room. My mind replays the sudden exit through the gloom, watching the suitcase wheels drag across the rug, leaving nothing but the hollow freezing air to hug. The camera slowly pans across the quiet living space, a shattered picture glass reflecting neon city grace. I cannot rewrite the dialogue we threw around so cold. The script is finalized and torn into 1,000 folds. We let the screen fade to a hollow black. No sweeping orchestra is going to bring you back. The spotlight shifts away from our divided stage, another tragedy printed on a burning page. I sit alone in the center of the frame, whispering the closing credits to your dying flame. Flashback cuts to the leather passenger seat, raindrops racing down the foggy window glass, wipers keeping rhythm with the cars we pass. I watched you stare into the lonely midnight street, the liquor signs reflected in a falling tear. I kept my hands gripped tight upon the steering wheel. We had no words to bridge the gap of what we feel, just a quiet engine humming loud enough to hear. The
camera slowly pans across the quiet living space. A shattered picture glass reflecting neon city grace. I cannot rewrite the dialogue we threw around so cold. The script is finalized and torn into 1,000 folds. We let the screen fade to a hollow black. No sweeping orchestra is going to bring you back. The spotlight shifts away from our divided stage. Another tragedy printed on a burning page. I sit alone in the center of the frame, whispering the closing credits to your dying flame. Every tragic picture needs a grand finale scene. Ours was just a lock turning without a sound. The focus blurs until there's nothing on the screen. No sequel waiting in the shadows to be found. The film reel flaps against the heavy iron gear. I am stranded in the theater, facing all my fear. The projector bulb dims and the room goes blind. Silence settles back into the heavy evening air. I leave the torn tickets scattered on the floor, walking out the heavy double exit door. Cut the lights, stop the tape, and the scene.
Does a shadow bleed if you cut the light before it leaves the room? Staring at the ceiling, plastic cracking, manifesting out of gloom. I was swiping through my gallery to find a single reason I should clear the cache. Memory is just a heavy jacket in July, reducing everything to ash. Sweating out the details of the arguments we had inside the Honda Civic. Nothing really matters when the energy is getting parasitic. Parking lot confessions turning into courtroom accusations. Backseat judge and jury constantly destroying my foundations.
I just wanted you to listen, but the volume knob was broken off. Static on the radio was matching all the bitter words you toss. Now I try to piece together why the engine finally stalled out on the shoulder. Guess we ran out of gas and suddenly the nights were getting colder.
Thought I saw your brother at the deli down the street today. Almost asked him how you doing, but I
turned and looked the other way.
Cowardice is just a habit when the human heart is out of practice.
Scrolling through the timeline looking for a way to just detach this. We fall apart in slow motion, like a cracked screen shattering. Fragments of a promise slipping underneath my fingernails, scattering. Trying to hold the water but it spills out on the naked concrete. You became a ghost before your physical body ever left the sheets. Now I talk to empty spaces, hoping for an echo in the dark. Stream of consciousness is just a river flooding out the local park.
Clock ticking on the microwave, it flashes 12 incessantly, blinking green numbers mocking my entire lack of any steady destiny. Time is just a concept anyway, according to the podcast. Listening to strangers talk about the chemistry you're moving past. Dopamine depleting when I read your final paragraph. Punctuation sharper than the kitchen knife that cuts me right in half. Did you use a period to make a point or just to end the sentence? Overanalyzing grammar, trying to discover some repentance. Pouring out the coffee, watching liquid swirl around the kitchen drain. Metaphor for how we ended up completely washing out the stain. Running out of paper towels, trying to clean up all the sudden spillage. Takes a minute to build a home, but just a second to burn the village.
So I saw your brother at the deli down the street today. Almost asked him how you doing, but I turned and looked the other way.
Cowardice is just a habit when the
human heart is out of practice. Scrolling through the timeline looking for a way to just detach this. We fall apart in slow motion, like a cracked screen shattering. Fragments of a promise slipping underneath my fingernails, scattering. Trying to hold the water but it spills out on the naked concrete. You became a ghost before your physical body ever left the sheets. Now I talk to empty spaces, hoping for an echo in the dark. Stream of consciousness is just a river flooding out the local park.
I should probably go outside and maybe buy another button down. Something blue to match the melancholy hanging heavy in this town. Everybody walking by me looks like they have hidden secrets very deep. Wonder if they carry ruined futures in their pockets while they sleep. Linting
Crumpled up receipts from dates that never really meant a thing. Unlike that dinner in December when you wore that silver ring.
Wait, I need to stop rewinding the cassette before the ribbon breaks. Brain is hoarding
Every single syllable, analyzing my mistakes.
just a loop playing inside an empty auditorium, closing down the curtains on this temporary sanatorium.
I still lack the answer to the question that I asked at first.
Does a shadow bleed if you cut the light before the bubble bursts?
Probably not, it probably just slowly disappears into the wall,
Quietly erasing
every single trace of us.
until there is nothing left at all.
Nothing left at all,
Just the quiet.
just the draft.
The absolute weight of this leather chair sinks my bones into a quiet despair. I am writing this from a future you hate, hoping this envelope does not arrive late. You were 24 chasing a phantom dream, treating your lady like a background scene. You think she stays forever because she smiles, but she is walking barefoot across broken tiles. Stop prioritizing the studio light. She packs a fraction of her bags every night. Close your laptop and shut down the screen. Look at the woman standing right in your scene. I know you feel invincible right now, assuming love just patches up somehow. Take it from the man breathing your future air. Nothing but ghosts exist beside this heavy chair. Read this before she walks out the door, before your universe crashes down to the floor. Hold her hands and put your ego away. Tell her the words you are afraid to say, because I'm sitting here without her touch, learning that arrogance costs way too much. I am the consequence, you are sprinting to me. A king with the crown but a vacancy.
Yeah, you bought designer clothes instead of a ring, thinking material could fix everything. I see you arguing over the phone, using that deep and dismissive tone. Listen to me and swallow your bitter pride. Sit on the mattress right by her side. She is not asking for diamonds or wealth, just a few moments of your actual self. Do not let her cry in the passenger side while you stare blankly out on the ride. She wants your heart, not the money you spend. Fix your mistakes or prepare for that. I know you feel invincible right now, assuming love just patches up somehow. Take it from the man breathing your future air. Nothing but ghosts exist beside this heavy chair. Read this before she walks out the door, before your universe crashes down to the floor. Hold her hands and put your ego away. Tell her the words you are afraid to say, because I'm sitting here without her touch, learning that arrogance costs way too much. I am the consequence, you are sprinting to meet a king with the crown but a vacancy. Yeah. Drop the pen, pause the track, go home. I'm tired of existing in this apartment alone. Change our timeline and rewrite my fate. Apologize now before the hour gets late. If you tear up this letter and choose your own path, get ready to live in the aftermath. Get ready to feel the crushing weight of this empty room and the solitary play.
Read this before she walks out the door, before your universe crashes down to the floor. Hold her hands and put your ego away. Tell her the words you are afraid to say, because I'm sitting here without her touch, learning that arrogance costs way too much. I am the consequence, you are sprinting to me. A king with a crown but a vacancy.
The wood splinters under my heavy hands.
Time slipping through an hourglass of sand.
Save us both from this endless pain.
Love her right, or I will suffer again. Message sent to the past, change it.
Violet neon washes over this fractured sidewalk. You asked for a light, but I quit yesterday. Right after she packed up and threw away the key. Take a close look at my trembling hands, my friend. Love is just a ghost in a familiar coat. You nod and strike a match against the concrete brick, blowing dense gray smoke into the humid city air. We do not know each other, but we share this curve, exchanging tragedies of women who walked away. Your voice rings out like a broken shallow string, vibrating through the hollow chest I carry around. I'm spilling all my secrets to a random soul, about her favorite dress and the jazz she loved, confessing to a silhouette at 1:45. Bleeding my history on a public wooden bench. Brother, you promised me time will erase her scent, but the perfume is deeply woven in my mind. You take a slow drag and point at the avenue, noting she took a yellow cab on Tuesday night. Wait, how did you know the exact day she left my room? You smile with a melancholy kind of grace, saying every broken man remembers the departure time. It is a universal grief we silently pass along, swallowing the sorrow like a glass of cheap bourbon. We do not know each other, but we share this curve, exchanging tragedies of women who walked away. Your voice rings out like a broken shallow string, vibrating through the hollow chest I carry around. I am spilling all my secrets to a random soul, about her favorite dress and the jazz she loved, confessing to a silhouette at 1:45. Bleeding my history on a public wooden bench. Brother, you promised me time will erase her scent, but the perfume is deeply woven in my mind. We trade the darkest truths we never tell our friends, safe behind the anonymity of the midnight dark. You flick your cigarette into the rolling street gutter, telling me peace is found when you stop chasing the spark. Maybe you are an angel, or maybe just a wandering drunk, but your words begin to stitch up a fraction of the wound. The violet neon flickers out and turns into gray. You tip your brim and fade away into the mist, leaving me alone with a lighter I will never use, healing quietly in the silence of an empty street. Don't bother waiting up. You muttered yesterday at noon. Now I am counting dust. Most dancing in my living room. Your favorite jacket still hangs by the wooden front door. A single bobby pin is resting on the hardwood floor. The kitchen faucet has a rhythm that I never heard. The neighbor's dog barks out a warning at a passing bird. I scan the counter for a reason that we fell apart, just finding grocery receipts and fragments of my heart. My left shoe lacks a lace. The pillow on your side still holds the hollow of your face. A half-read paperback is sitting on the bedside chair. I breathe the heavy oxygen and pretend you are there, collecting tiny pieces of an ordinary ghost. The smallest details always seem to hurt my spirit most. A fingerprint upon the glass, the shadow of your wine. I inventory everything, the past, the empty time. These little observations pile up high against the wall. I watch the plaster cracking and I wait for it to fall. The thermostat is set to 70, you liked it warm. Outside the window pane, the clouds prepare another storm. Your charging cable dangles useless by the reading light. I notice how the shadows stretch out longer in the night. The carpet holds the heavy dent from where your suitcase stood. I promised you I would move on, I never said I could. The bottle of your lotion sits collecting bathroom steam. The mirror shows me coming apart at every single seam. My left shoe lacks a lace. The pillow on your side still holds the hollow of your face. A half-read paperback is sitting on the bedside chair. I breathe the heavy oxygen and pretend you are there, collecting tiny pieces of an ordinary ghost. The smallest details always seem to hurt my spirit most. A fingerprint upon the glass, the shadow of your mind. I inventory everything to pass the empty time. These little observations pile up high against the wall. I watch the plaster cracking and I wait for it to fall. 10 steps between the bedroom and the kitchen sink. 4 seconds for the hallway light to start to blink. 4 letters in the word we never had the nerve to say. 100 different ways I watch my future fade away. The radiator hisses like a snake beneath the blind. It takes a lot of math to try to occupy my mind. Just listing every atom of the space we used to share. The mathematics of a room that proves you were right there, collecting tiny pieces of an ordinary ghost. The smallest details always seem to hurt my spirit most. The fingerprint upon the glass, the shadow of your mind. I inventory everything to pass the empty time. These little observations pile up high against the wall. I watch the plaster cracking and I wait for it to fall. The mail arrived today with nothing but the water bill. Your empty coffee cup remains upon the windowsill. A pair of sunglasses forgotten on the center shelf. I memorized these objects so I do not face myself. I count them one by one. The ending has begun. Just tiny little things and all the pain they bring. Yeah. Rough corduroy scrapes against my open hand. Your old jacket hanging by the bedroom door. Fibers holding memories I understand, pulling me to moments from the year before. Streetlights painted stripes across your velvet coat. We were standing frozen on the avenue, swallowing the words that rested in my throat, knowing I was tearing up the bond with you. Now the threads are pulling loose from the seam. Time is moving backwards in this quiet place, holding on to fragments of a broken dream, searching for the sorrow on your absent face. A split second freezes in the ambient light. I can feel the static of your wool against my skin. We were walking blindly into the bitter night, writing down the chapters where the heartbreaks begin. Every single fiber holds a piece of the past, spitting out a memory that moves too fast. Caught inside the loop of how you walked away, woven in the dark where I am forced to stay. Fading down and ripped along the lateral seam, where you used to hide your freezing fingertips. I rewind the tape of our collapsing scheme, watching the ultimatums leaving your lips. Visions of the taxi idling by the curb, yellow glaring hard against the midnight gray. You turned your shoulder without a single word, taking all the warmth and walking it away. Now the threads are pulling loose from the seam. Time is moving backwards in this quiet place, holding on to fragments of a broken dream, searching for the sorrow on your absent face. A split second freezes in the ambient light. I can feel the static of your wool against my skin. We were walking blindly into the bitter night, writing down the chapters where the heartbreaks begin. Every single fiber holds a piece of the past, spitting out a memory that moves too fast. Caught inside the loop of how you walked away, woven in the dark where I am forced to stay. Splicing together the tears in the cloth, watching our history burn like a moth. Memories are heavy and needles will break, measuring the damage of a past mistake. I close my eyes and the fabric is real, pressing your shoulder is something I feel. Opening up just to find you are gone, losing the battle from dusk until dawn. Just a tactile ghost remaining in the hall. Fingertips are resting on the velvet drape. I'm stranded deeply as the shadows fall. Trapped inside a flashback with no escape. Trapped inside a flashback with no escape. Rough corduroy turning into rust, leaving my reality inside the dust. 3:45 flashes in neon red, casting heavy shadows on my side of the bed. I close my eyes and project the decade away, wondering if I still feel this same decay. Will I be sleeping next to somebody new? While my subconscious keeps projecting you, a grown man pretending he finally found peace. While the ghost of your perfume refuses release. Building an empire just to stare at the floor, knowing my future self is keeping score. Fast forward the tape to our late 30s, carrying the weight of these quiet burdens. Crossing paths by a coffee shop downtown, both of us immediately looking down, pretending we are merely strangers passing by. Hiding the decades of history in the eye. Someday we turn into a story we told, just a distant memory turning bitterly cold. I see us in the future acting strictly polite, asking how your mother's doing tonight. But under the small talk, the frequency screams. We traded our reality for compromised dreams. The future interaction breaks me in advance. The ultimate tragedy of our missing chance. Will you have a daughter with my exact same smile and lose your breath when you see it for a while? I picture myself in a dark tailored suit, boarding a flight on an international route, checking my phone with the blank lock screen, wishing your text was the last thing seen. People say time heals a fractured bone, but I visualize a penthouse completely alone, surrounded by yes men who applaud my success, entirely ignorant to the void in my chest. Fast forward the tape to our late 30s, carrying the weight of these quiet burdens. Crossing paths by a coffee shop downtown, both of us immediately looking down, pretending we are merely strangers passing by. Hiding the decades of history in the eye. Someday we turn into a story we told, just a distant memory turning bitterly cold. I see us in the future acting strictly polite, asking how your mother's doing tonight. But under the small talk, the frequency screams. We traded our reality for compromised dreams. The future interaction breaks me in advance. The ultimate tragedy of our missing chance. They promise the pain has a strict expiration, a mathematical formula of time and duration. But I calculate the years and the logic falls apart. Infinity settles inside a broken heart. I'm on a timeline that never arrives, a parallel dimension where our loyalty survives. Standing 10 years ahead in my own mind, looking backward at the love we left behind. The digital clock rolls over to 3:46. No amount of fast forwarding can provide a fix. I watch our potential fade out in the dark, leaving nothing but this permanent mark. Just two distant silhouettes in a distant year, wishing the other was still lying right here. One bent hairpin scratches the mahogany grain, right where you abandoned it amidst the sudden rain of words and accusations flooding up our private suite. We never recognized the second bitter takes the sweet. I traced the little rubber tip against the polished wood, deciphering exactly how we misunderstood the concept of forever. We just mastered staying still. Now I swallow down the invoice for a superficial thrill. It is wild how a fragment of aluminum and paint can turn a regular romantic to a broken saint. I traced the phantom fingerprints you left along the rim of the coffee mug beside it. Now the room is looking dim. The apartment breathes without you occupying space. I keep searching for a spirit lingering around the place. You packed the heavy luggage, took the winter coats, left me with a piece of wire and unspoken notes. Love is just a fragile piece of twisted metal. Hold it tight enough and you decapitate the pedal. I thought we had a foundation built to last. Now I study souvenirs from a shattered past. Just a hairpin reflecting the kitchen light, reminding me you walked away and ended the fight. I play the mental cinema behind my heavy lids, reckoning with consequences of the things I did. Was it December when I prioritized the overtime, or April when you testified my absence was a crime? I sacrificed my evenings chasing after paper checks, constructing up a future that was headed for a wreck. You need the conversation, I just ordered you designer. Ignored the warning signals on the dash, there is nothing blinder than the man who thinks his currency resolves the quiet pain. Now I possess the bankroll but the luxury is vain. A vacant leather chair across the dining table spread, where we used to break our bread before the silence bled. The apartment breathes without you occupying space. I keep searching for a spirit lingering around the place. You packed the heavy luggage, took the winter coats, left me with a piece of wire and unspoken notes. Love is just a fragile piece of twisted metal. Hold it tight enough and you decapitate the pedal. I thought we had a foundation built to last. Now I study souvenirs from a shattered past. Just a hairpin reflecting the kitchen light, reminding me you walked away and ended the fight. They say the universe repairs the fractures in a man, but logic cannot execute a decent salvage plan. If I brush it in the garbage, does the feeling dissipate? Or do I just respect the tragic nature of my fate? I pick it up and calculate the tension in the bend, wondering if this was destined right before the end. Flicking it across the polish, watching it revolve. Another complex mystery I never could resolve. Silence settles heavy over all the furniture. I thought my dedication was the ultimate preserver. Just one little object, anchoring a ton of grief, dropping it inside my pocket, praying for relief. Screeching brakes echo down a wet avenue, cutting through the silence of this darkened room. I watch you staring at the glowing glass, hoping that the sting of the rejection will pass. Brother, you poured your 20s into her hands, built a whole kingdom out of shifting sands. Now used to drinking room temperature gin, wondering where her memory ends and you begin. Put the bottle down and look in my face. You cannot stay permanently stuck in this place. Love is a gamble, we both knew the stakes. Sometimes the heart is exactly what breaks. You gave her the keys to your fragile core. She left them sitting by the revolving door. I know it burns like acid in your chest, but surviving the fracture is the ultimate test. We learn the hardest lessons in the cold. You have to let the bitter truth unfold. Remember that night by the Brooklyn pier? You told me you conquered your deepest fear. You said she was the anchor to your drifting boat. Now you can barely keep yourself afloat. I hear the hesitation in your trembling voice, saying you never really had a choice. But love is a mirror showing every flaw. It leaves you bleeding from the painful draw. Put the bottle down and look in my face. You cannot stay permanently stuck in this place. Love is a game, but we both knew the stakes. Sometimes the heart is exactly what breaks. You gave her the keys to your fragile core. She left them sitting by the revolving door. I know it burns like acid in your chest, but surviving the fracture is the ultimate test. We learned the hardest lessons in the cold. You have to let the bitter truth unfold. Do not text her when the midnight strikes. Do not scroll through those old phantom likes. She packed the bags and made her own way. Nothing you type will convince her to stay. I am sitting right here on this dusty couch, watching your shoulders heavily slouch. Tomorrow the light hits the concrete ground, and we will walk forward without looking around. You gave her the keys to your fragile core. She left them sitting by the revolving door. I know it burns like acid in your chest, but surviving the fracture is the ultimate test. We learned the hardest lessons in the cold. You have to let the bitter truth unfold. The traffic fades away into the night. We will just sit here until it gets bright. You are my brother, and your pain is mine. Give it some distance and give it some time. Breathe in the silence and let it out slow. That is the only way you heal and grow. Cheap synthetic lavender clouds the damp stairwell. Julian packs his duffel bag near the front door. Maya watches quietly from the kitchen island. Neither of them fighting about the rent anymore. Silence stretches thick across the studio apartment. 5 years of memories boxed up in cardboard. He grabs his winter coat right off the velvet armchair. She traces invisible lines onto the floorboard. Love used to look like a Friday night movie. Now it resembles an unpaid eviction notice, evaporating slowly into the December chill, losing all the magic that kept them in focus. There are no screaming matches echoing tonight, just the subtle friction of a zipper closing tight. Two adults acknowledging the engine finally died. Nothing left to salvage underneath their foolish pride. They became strangers, standing in the same room, breathing in the ashes of a burned out flame. Nobody is pointing any fingers at the other. Both of them are carrying an equal share of blame. Growing up means knowing when to drop the curtain, walking down the corridor without turning around. They let the romance shatter on the linoleum, making their departure without making a sound. Back when they were 22, the world felt open, promising forever while they drank cheap wine. Fast forward a decade and the debt started stacking. Pressure started building all along the fault line. Maya took the graveyard shift across the river. Julian was drowning in his own depression spell, passing like the phantoms in the middle of the hallway. Neither one had energy to wish the other well. Routine became a prison with an unlocked door, staying out of habit, out of fear of the unknown. Now she watches tail lights fading out the window, standing in the kitchen finally completely alone. There are no screaming matches echoing tonight, just the subtle friction of a zipper closing tight. Two adults acknowledging the engine finally died. Nothing left to salvage underneath their foolish pride. They became strangers, standing in the same room, breathing in the ashes of a burned out flame. Nobody is pointing any fingers at the other. Both of them are carrying an equal share of blame. Growing up means knowing when to drop the curtain, walking down the corridor without turning around. They let the romance shatter on the linoleum, making their departure without making a sound. The scent of his cologne is slowly fading from the pillows. Her coffee cup is resting beside the empty space. A tragic realization hits the atmosphere around her. They occupy the timeline they can never quite replace. He rides the subway, staring at his worn-out sneakers, wondering if freedom feels better than the grief. Every single stop pushes the distance even further, searching for a solitary moment of relief. Oh, they became strangers, standing in the same room, breathing in the ashes of a burned-out flame. Nobody is pointing any fingers at the other. Both of them are carrying an equal share of blame. Growing up means knowing when to drop the curtain, walking down the corridor without turning around. They let the romance shatter on the linoleum, making their departure without making a sound. The lock clicks shut against the empty winter air. A chapter finally ending in the middle of the night. No dramatic climax written in the final pages. Just two heavy shadows stepping back out of the light. Letting go was quiet. Letting go was quiet. One sharp thought punctures the midnight quiet. Raindrops track down the passenger window. A street lamp acts as a makeshift spotlight, casting long shadows over the dashboard. Camera pans left to the empty leather, where your silhouette used to dictate the mood. The rearview mirror catches my hollow expression, a close-up on a man losing his center. We shot our final scene under these fluorescents. Dialogue clipped and the blocking was rigid. Cut to the pavement, soaked in regret. Focus pulls sharply onto your retreating steps. No background score to soften the blow, just the rhythmic of the door slamming shut. Frame by frame we fall apart on the screen. Rewinding the footage to see what it means. Every glance holds a hidden motive I missed. Every touch just a prelude to the tragic twist. I am stuck in the editing room of my mind, splicing the tape, trying to leave it behind. But the projector jams on you, turning away, leaving me trapped in the colors of gray. Yeah. Zoom out to show the desolate avenue. Traffic light cycle from amber to crimson. The engine idles with a low trembling pulse, matching the heavy drum inside my chest. I trace the timeline back to the first act. Warm golden hour lighting in perfect scripts. Now the lens flares with blinding headlights passing. Harsh exposure washing out the beautiful moments. You crossed the frame and exited stage left, taking the warmth from the color palette. Cut to the pavement, soaked in regret. Focus pulls sharply onto your retreating steps. No background score to soften the blow, just the rhythmic of the door slamming shut. Frame by frame we fall apart on the screen. Rewinding the footage to see what it means. Every glance holds a hidden motive I missed. Every touch just a prelude to the tragic twist. I am stuck in the editing room of my mind, splicing the tape, trying to leave it behind. But the projector jams on the turning away, leaving me trapped in the colors of gray. Slow motion captures the tear on your cheek. 24 frames per second of sorrow. The contrast is sharp and the dialogue bleak. There is no script left for a brighter tomorrow. A pen and shot reveals the space between us growing, the depth of field blurring our shared history, until you are just a pixel fading in the dark. And the credits roll over, a solitary spark. Frame by frame we fall apart on the screen. Frame by frame, rewinding the footage to see what it means. Every glance holds a hidden motive I missed. Every touch, just a prelude to the tragic twist. I am stuck in the editing room of my mind, splicing the tape, trying to leave it behind. But the projector jams on you, turning away, leaving me trapped in the colors of gray. Fade to black on the wet asphalt, the real ones out in the engine dies. Nothing left but the sound of the rain and the screen reflecting my empty eyes. And the scene concludes in static. Yeah. How many breaths does it take to unlearn a heartbeat? Staring at the ceiling cracks, tracing lines like a street map. Getting lost in the drywall, thinking about rent day coming up. Left undelivered, green bubbles piercing through the static. Swiping away my own memories, deleting photos by the river. Cold takeout on the counter, smelling like ginger and regret. Why am I paying for streaming services you use across town? Cut the plastic in half, cancel the subscriptions we share. Everything loops, everything spins inside this studio apartment. Logic dictates I should pack your sweaters in a cardboard box. Tape it shut, write an address, cross it out, write it again. Fingers tremble on the Sharpie marker, breathing in the fumes. My brain skips a beat, jumping to the way you tied your shoes. Tight loops, double knots, always preparing for the worst weather. So I just walk in circles, treading on the rug we bought. I cannot stop this leaking faucet dripping in my temporal lobe. Washing away the dates, the times, the promises, the bitter fights. I keep swimming in the current of discarded grocery lists. Reading your cursive that says we need almond milk and closure. Drown in the mundane details of a love that lost its lease. Car headlights wash across the wall, projecting shadows of a ghost. I should probably drink some water. Dehydration mimics panic, or is it panic mimicking the thirst for your attention? Right now, scrolling through timelines, everybody looks completely content. Digital smiles flashing bright against the grate in my chest. My phone battery is at 2%, matching my threshold for silence. Plug the cable in, watch the icon turn green, breathe the dust. Remembering the time you laughed so hard, you spilled the red wine, pouring club soda on the stain, scrubbing out the evidence blindly. Logic dictates I should pack your sweaters in a cardboard box. Tape it shut, write an address, cross it out, write it again. Fingers tremble on the Sharpie marker, breathing in the fumes. My brain skips a beat, jumping to the way you tied your shoes. Tight loops, double knots, always preparing for the worst weather. So I just walk in circles, treading on the rug we bought. I cannot stop this leaking faucet dripping in my temporal lobe. Washing away the dates, the times, the promises, the bitter fights. I keep swimming in the current of discarded grocery lists. Reading your cursive that says we need almond milk and closure. Drowning in the mundane details of a love that lost its lease. Flash, forward, rewind, stop, eject, the mechanism is jammed. The cassette tape is tangled around the spindle of my mind, pulling it out carefully, trying not to snap the magnetic ribbon. Every inch of tape holds a microscopic fragment of your perfume, splicing it together with scotch tape, hoping it plays a melody, but it just sounds like distorted arguments and slamming doors. Pitch black frequency ringing loud inside my outer ear. Gravity stops working when I realize you are permanently gone. So I just walk in circles, treading on the rug we bought. I cannot stop this leaking faucet dripping in my temporal lobe. Washing away the dates, the times, the promises, the bitter fights. I keep swimming in the current of discarded grocery lists. Reading your cursive that says we need almond milk and closure. Drowning in the mundane details of a love that lost its lease. Walking in circles, wearing down the synthetic fibers. Tired eyes, heavy feet, gravity returns, multiplying the weight. The crumpled list dissolving right inside my sweaty palm. Almond milk closure and a terribly quiet room, waiting for the landlord to come up and change the locks. Finally letting go of the brass keys. The literal weight of this mahogany chair drags my shoulders toward the floorboards. I am writing a warning you will discard. You think your affection is an endless reserve, pouring it out for the girl in the gray coat. I know she smells like rain and forgiveness. I know you promised to build her a fortress. Listen to the man who swept up the ruins. You keep dropping the keys on the counter, assuming she would always turn the lock. But rust builds quietly on the hinges of trust, and time is a thief wearing comfortable shoes. Read these pages before you strike the match. Do not build your house on a temporary smile. The fire burns brilliant, but the winter is brutal, and you are the one left to shovel the ash. I am speaking from the bottom of the calendar. Hold on to your sinner when she packs up her bags. You cannot negotiate with gravity or grief. You are 23 and convinced you are bulletproof, swiping credit cards for dinners you cannot afford, hiding your anxiety behind a rigid posture. She sees right through the armor you polished. That fight in November will fracture the foundation. You will speak sentences designed to draw blood, swallow those syllables before they take shape. Apologies do not erase the scars on the drywall. You keep dropping the keys on the counter, assuming she will always turn the lock. But rust builds quietly on the hinges of trust, and time is a thief wearing comfortable shoes. Read these pages before you strike the match. Do not build your house on a temporary smile. The fire burns brilliant, but the winter is brutal, and you are the one left to shovel the ash. I am speaking from the bottom of the calendar. Hold on to your center when she packs up her bags. You cannot negotiate with gravity or grief. I cannot block you from making the jump. The damage is required to learn how to heal. Just know that the aching eventually dulls. The silence will settle, the panic will thin. Forgive her for leaving, forgive yourself more. The ink on this letter is spilled from my veins to spare you the night staring up at the plaster. Read these pages before you strike the match. Do not build your house on a temporary smile. The fire burns brilliant, but the winter is brutal, and you are the one left to shovel the ash. I am speaking from the bottom of the calendar. Hold on to your center when she packs up her bags. You cannot negotiate with gravity or grief. Fold up this paper and keep it concealed. The future is heavy, but your shoulders adapt. I will be waiting right here when it ends, rising back up from this wooden frame. You will survive this collision. I am the living proof. Yeah. Golden halogen paints your tired face, stranger. Pass the sugar packets, save the cold advice. I know my eyes are swollen, heavy on the brim, rolling the dice, paying the ultimate price. You ask me why I take my coffee black at 3, because sleep is a luxury I can no longer afford. She took the canvas, left the thumbtacks in the plaster, severed the cord, left me falling overboard. Listen to me, I know you have a shift to finish, wiping down this laminated counterclocking hours. But I just boxed up 30 months of shared existence, watched our foundation crumble down like paper towers. I see you checking the clock, hoping the dawn breaks, but I need an audience for all these fresh mistakes. Pretend you care that my universe just cracked, because there is no timeline where I get it back. Pour another cup, let the ceramic burn my skin. I am speaking to a stranger where the memories begin. You have your own demons, your own daily grind, but I have to leave the wreckage of my heart behind. Love is just a property we both tried to lease. Now I am searching for a tiny fragment of peace, to a man in a name tag pouring bitter brew. Silence is a weight I cannot carry through. Yeah, you scrape the grill, nodding softly at my grief. Tell me, did you ever lose a woman like a thief? 1 minute she is kissing you, planning out the spring. Next she is a phantom, slipping off the golden ring. I see the silver band resting on your steady hand. Tell me how you built a house that managed to withstand. I bought a diamond in December, hid it in my coat. Now it sits heavy, choking out my swollen throat. It is funny how we spill our guts to unfamiliar faces, finding temporary comfort in these isolated places. You do not know her smile, you do not know her scent. You just see a broken customer completely spent. I see you checking the clock, hoping the dawn breaks, but I need an audience for all these fresh mistakes. Pretend you care that my universe just cracked, because there is no timeline where I get her back. Oh, pour another cup, let the ceramic burn my skin. I am speaking to a stranger where the memories begin. You have your own demons, your own daily grind, but I have to leave the wreckage of my heart behind. Love is just a property we both tried to lease. Now I am searching for a tiny fragment of peace, to a man in a name tag pouring bitter brew. Silence is a weight I cannot carry through. Keep the change, I know I am talking way too much. My apologies for treating you like an emotional crutch. Yeah, you gave me 20 minutes, a momentary shield, before I have to walk back to the battlefield. The street lights are shifting, turning into green. The hardest part of ending is the space between the final argument and closing the door. Finding out the person is not yours anymore. Pour another cup, let the ceramic burn my skin. I am speaking to a stranger where the memories begin. You have your own demons, your own daily grind, but I have to leave the wreckage of my heart behind. Love is just a property we both tried to lease. Now I am searching for a tiny fragment of peace, to a man in a name tag pouring bitter brew. Silence is a weight I cannot carry through. Thank you for the coffee, thank you for your time. I will step back out into the bitter winter climb, button up my jacket, face the frozen air. Leave a broken story resting on this empty chair. Stranger, go back home and hold your partner tight. Never let them fade into the amber light. I never liked this couch, you told me yesterday. Zipping up your jacket as you look the other way. And now I sit right on the cushion, tracing every frayed thread, replaying the casual syllables you finally said. Your ceramic coffee mug is resting slightly out of place. The kitchen halogen is buzzing at a totally different pace. 2 folded envelopes leaning on the counter edge, a chipped piece of paint on the bedroom window ledge. Everything inside this unit holds a miniature grief. I measure all the damages to fabricate relief, but magnifying details only proves that you are gone, leaving me alone with all the shadows we have drawn. Just microscopic fragments of a shattered romance, thus floating downward in the quiet. completely down. The heavy radiator shaking up the freezing town. I catalog the quiet in the space you left behind, counting all the particles to stabilize my mind. One metal bobby pin resting by the basin drain. A water pressure drop right before the freezing rain. A paperback you opened on the velvet bedside chair. The corner page folded with a sudden lack of care. My laces pulled tighter than they ever used to be. The upstairs neighbor stepping down directly over me. A missing wooden button from the cardigan you wore. The subtle way the hardwood panel groans upon the floor. Everything inside this unit holds a miniature grief. I measure all the damages to fabricate relief, but magnifying details only proves that you are gone, leaving me alone with all the shadows we have drawn. Just microscopic fragments of a shattered romance, thus floating downward in the quiet expanse. The volume on the monitor turned completely down. The heavy radiator shaking up the freezing town. I catalog the quiet in the space you left behind, counting all the particles to stabilize my mind. If I examine every fiber in the living room rug, memorize the texture of your abandoned coffee mug, maybe I can isolate the exact minute it decayed. The microscopic fracture where our foundation swayed. The analog clock ticking 1 second too slow. A bitter little metric measuring the undertow. I never liked this couch, you told me yesterday. A petty observation while you threw it all away. Now I am isolated, compiling 100 of my own, searching for the errors hidden inside the danger zone. Dust covers the speaker wire. The engine goes completely cold. The narrative expires. Two, three, yeah. Crushed velvet catches on my fingernail, dragging my mind through a sudden portal. Sitting alone in this vacant apartment, tracing the seams of your heavy jacket. The fiction operates like a time machine, ripping the pages off the calendar. I close my eyes and breathe the dust. Suddenly we are 23 and fearless. Rain pounding the city concrete street. Your hands shivering inside these same pockets. Time falls backward when the fabric grips. Every loose thread acts as a tether, pulling my spirit across state lines, right to the midnight we promised forever. Crushed velvet resurrects the phantom. I hold the collar and surrender the wheel. Trapped inside the weave of a dead romance, running the tape in reverse to see you heal. The zipper gets caught on the same dispute, but the lining still carries your cedar scent. I am pacing inside a sensory loop, unraveling the yarn to see where we went. Smooth silk used to trace your collarbone. Now everything I touch feels heavy as stone. We stitched the future with fragile string, ignoring the blades resting on the nightstand. I recall the espresso spilling on the sleeve. You smiled so wide, the tears broke free. We scrubbed the dark stain with motel soap. Now the faded mark is a monument to hope. A microscopic blemish preserving the fire before the freezing winter drowned out desire. Time folds backward when the fabric grips. Every loose thread acts as a tether, pulling my spirit across state lines, right to the midnight we promised forever. Crushed velvet resurrects the phantom. I hold the collar and surrender the wheel. Trapped inside the weave of a dead romance, running the tape in reverse to see you heal. The zipper gets caught on the same dispute, but the lining still carries your cedar scent. I am pacing inside a sensory loop, unraveling the yarn to see where we went. We cut the pattern entirely wrong, trying to tailor a life that did not fit. Measurements shifted while we were asleep. Buttons detached and fell into the abyss. Yet I hold on to this ruined garment, refusing to throw the evidence away. Because giving it up means losing the tape, deleting the past where you decided to stay. Crushed velvet resurrects the phantom. I hold the collar and surrender the wheel. Trapped inside the weave of a dead romance, running the tape in reverse to see you heal. The zipper gets caught on the same dispute, but the line still carries your cedar scent. I am pacing inside a sensory loop, unraveling the yarn to see where we went. Letting go of the cuff, watching the fibers slowly slip away. The flashback ends in the cold living room. Just me and a jacket that I need to donate. But maybe I will keep it one more day, folding the memories back into the dark. 4:15, 4:50 flashes on the bedside clock, mapping a future where I survive this shock. I project my mind 10 winters ahead, imagining a stranger resting in my bed. The sheets will be folded and perfectly clean, no tragic reminders of what could have been. I will look at the ceiling without feeling dread, living the narrative my survival has bred. I cast my spirit into that distant space. Will my pulse remain steady if I see your face? Or will the decades dissolve into a singular drop, making my older lungs forcefully stop? Someday we are strangers with history attached, two separate fires that have been unlatched. I see us crossing the street without meeting eyes, trading our passionate truth for comfortable lies. The future is a heavy coat I am trying to wear, while stuck in this present room, gasping for air. Your hair might be shorter and graying a bit, beside a new partner you gracefully sit. I imagine watching you order your favorite tea, smiling at jokes that did not come from me. My older hand holds a cup that is bitterly black, no longer wishing to turn the calendar back. But even in fantasies I'm moving along, my chest holds the rhythm of our broken song. I cast my spirit into that distant space. Will my pulse remain steady if I see your face? Or will the decades dissolve into a singular drop, making my older lungs forcefully stop? Someday we are strangers with history attached, two separate fires that have been unlatched. I see us crossing the street without meeting eyes, trading our passionate truth for comfortable lies. The future is a heavy coat I am trying to wear, while stuck in this present room, gasping for air. Tomorrow is a fiction I write to survive, to prove to my bones they will stay alive. I script every detail of our distant decay, because facing the truth is too brutal today. Right now the wound is completely exposed, so I jump to the chapter where the covers are closed. Waiting for the years to blur the lines, reading the future for hopeful signs. 4:15 remains glowing in the dark, counting the seconds until I lose your mark. Someday we will forget, someday it's not here yet. Your circular gold earring, wrist beside my coaster, casting tiny shadows on the polished grain. Staring at the metal, trying to find some closure, losing my composure underneath the quiet strain. I scroll through old messages, looking at your contact, wondering how quickly we destroyed the whole contract. Silence in my apartment deafens every thought I make, calculating just how much my sanity can take. I remember purchasing the pair back in November. Now I use a single half to force me to remember. Sitting at the table with my chin up on my hand, failing to construct a bridge and make a solid plan. I should put it in a box and hide it in a drawer, lock away the evidence of what we were before. But my hand refuses to disturb the heavy scene, leaving it exactly where your fingertips have been. This empty space is loud and unforgiving, trapped inside a memory instead of simply living. A single piece of jewelry holds the weight of our decay. Gravity is pulling down the words I meant to say. I analyze the logic, but emotion tears the seams, watching all reality unravel into dreams. If I move the earring, then the story truly ends. So I sit here freezing while the atmosphere descends. Pacing through the hallway, counting every wooden tile, trying to erase the muscle memory of your smile. Staring at the ceiling, tracing patterns in the dust, wondering if time is going to corrode away the trust. Everything we built dismantled in a Tuesday fight, packing up your sweaters, disappearing in the night. Left behind a token of a life we almost shared. Now I question every single moment that you cared. Pounding in my chest requires rhythm to survive, but I forgot the tempo that kept my soul alive. The algorithm pushes me a picture of your face, pulling me right back into this solitary space. I should put it in a box and hide it in a drawer, lock away the evidence of what we were before. But my hand refuses to disturb the heavy scene, leaving it exactly where your fingertips have been. This empty space is loud and unforgiving, trapped inside a memory instead of simply living. A single piece of jewelry holds the weight of our decay. Gravity is pulling down the words I meant to say. I analyze the logic, but emotion tears the seams, watching all reality unravel into dreams. If I move the earring, then the story truly ends. So I sit here freezing while the atmosphere descends. Logic dictates I should simply throw it in the trash, sweep away the ashes from the unexpected crash. But sentiment is sticky and it coats my weary mind, tying up the pieces of the ghost you left behind. Reflection in the window shows a man I barely know, begging for directions to a place he cannot go. Stuck inside a loop just like the medal on the desk, failing every section of this complicated test. This empty space is loud and unforgiving, trapped inside a memory instead of simply living. A single piece of jewelry holds the weight of our decay. Gravity is pulling down the words I meant to say. I analyze the logic, but emotion tears the seams, watching all reality unravel into dreams. If I move the earring, then the story truly ends. So I sit here freezing while the atmosphere descends. The golden loop remains untouched beneath the lamp. My hands are in my pockets and my palms are growing damp. I memorize the angle, how it shines against the brown, closing both my eyelids as the quiet beats me down. No resolution hiding in the corners of the room, just a silent artifact embracing all the gloom. I leave it on the table, I leave it on the table, and I walk away. Yeah. Muffled bass rattles the glass pane, vibrating the ash off your cigarette. You stare at the floorboard like it might explain why she left her keys on your cabinet. I brought you a drink, but you cannot swallow the reality carved in your wooden door. You trace her initials, feeling completely hollow. Brother, you cannot stay stuck on this floor. Every time the elevator chimes down the hall, you hold your breath, hoping it stops at your suite. But logic is a language you refuse to recall, choosing to starve when you desperately need to eat. She is a ghost, and you are the haunted, buying roses for a vase that already broke. You gave gave her exactly the space that she wanted. Now you are choking on the remaining smoke. Listen to me as a friend and a witness. You have to release the grip on the pain. Stop treating heartbreak like a terminal sickness. You will eventually walk in the rain without drowning. Garbage trucks grind in the alleyway below, marking another Tuesday you spent away, tracing her outline in the digital glow, calculating how much a human heart can take. I remember the day you two picked out that sofa, smiling like kings of a temporary hill. Now you just sit in the dark like a soldier, waiting for orders she never will fulfill. Every time the elevator chimes down the hall, you hold your breath open, it stops at your suite. But logic is a language you refuse to recall, choosing the stop when you desperately need to eat. She is a ghost and you are the haunted, buying roses for a vase that already broke. You gave her exactly the space that she wanted. Now you are choking on the remaining smoke. Listen to me as a friend and a witness. You have to release the grip on the pain. Stop treating heartbreak like a terminal sickness. You will eventually walk in the rain without drowning. Erase the text you saved on your screen. Burn the sweater she left by the sink. Healing is violent and never quite clean. It takes a lot more than another strong drink. Look at your hands, they are shaking for nothing. She is already halfway across the state. Stop searching the silence for some hidden love vein. It is simply too late. Muffled bass down the avenue. The ash finally falls to your scuffed up shoe. Stand up right now and lock the front door. We are not mourning this ghost anymore. Look at me, brother. You were going to survive. Just breathe and let the memory die. Burnt cedar wood lingers heavy in the narrow hallway. He drags a canvas duffel toward the stairwell doorway. She leans against the radiator, arms folded tight. Neither of them wants to spark another useless fight. The silence hangs thicker than the bitter and the chill. 36 months of magic swallowed like a bitter pill. He sets his silver apartment key on the kitchen block. The separation finalized by the turning of the lock. Every heated argument simply turns to ash. The painted picture ruined by a sudden crash. They built a sanctuary just to watch the ceiling cave, standing paralyzed beside the love they could not save. This is how the inferno finally suffocates. No dramatic shouting when the final tether breaks. Just a cold Tuesday evening and a mutual retreat. Two former lovers passing on a dimly lit street. He takes the lonely elevator down to the ground. She slides the iron deadbolt without making a sound. The tragic ending written in an empty hollow glance. They step away from their beautiful and broken dance. Gasoline fumes drift up from the idling sedan. He grips the freezing steering wheel like a defeated man. She pulls the living room curtains entirely shut, ignoring the profound aching deep inside her gut. The neighborhood glows beneath the artificial yellow light, eclipsing all the promises they whispered in the night. The distance expanding by the passing of the mile, a permanent deletion of their shared romantic file. Every heated argument simply turns to ash. The painted picture ruined by a sudden crash. They built a sanctuary just to watch the ceiling cave, standing paralyzed beside the love they could not save. This is how the inferno finally suffocates. No dramatic shouting when the final tether breaks. Just a cold Tuesday evening and a mutual retreat. Two former lovers passing on a dimly lit street. He takes the lonely elevator down to the ground. She slides the iron deadbolt without making a sound. The tragic ending written in an empty hollow glance. They step away from their beautiful and broken dance. Spectators say time heals the fractures in the soul, but neither of them feels like they will ever be whole. He drives westbound into the encroaching dark. She sits alone on the sofa, missing the vital spark. There is no villain here, just an accidental drift. The tectonic plate shifting beneath the heavy rift. They loved immensely until the well ran completely dry, leaving nothing left to utter except the final goodbye. The red tail lights fade around the corner of the block. The quiet apartment echoes with the ticking of the clock. Two separate paths unfolding in the freezing night, surrendering the battle when they lost the will to fight. The cedar wood scent finally begins to dissipate, burying the remnants of a bond erased by fate. An intrusive revelation breaches the heavy stillness, pennant left across my disheveled studio desk. Amber street lights bleed through the partially open blinds. A slow zoom isolates your white-knuckled grip on the doorknob. I remain entirely out of focus in the leather foreground, watching shadows consume the exposed brick behind you. No instrumental track rises to cushion this devastating blow. Only stark dialogue rebounding against soundproof foam. We exchange bitter syllables measured out like poison, acting out the terrible script we drafted by mistake. We played our assigned roles flawlessly in this indie tragedy, taping out marks of separation on the hardwood floor. Then you hit your cue and turn toward the freezing corridor. I swallow my lines and maintain a stoic deadpan. Yell cut on the set and let the final credits roll. There remains no post-credits scene when the screen goes dark. The tracking shot traces your heavy boots down the hall. I stay rooted while a tight lens compresses my lonely perspective. Golden dust particles drift inside the single beam of headlights, applying a brutal filter that strips all the color from us. You abandoned your oversized jacket on the metallic light stand, leaving an intentional prop to force me into remembering. No instrumental track rises to cushion this devastating blow. Only stark dialogue rebounding against soundproof foam. We exchange bitter syllables measured out like poison, acting out the terrible script we drafted by mistake. We played our assigned roles flawlessly in this indie tragedy, taping out marks of separation on the hardwood floor. You hit your cue and turn toward the freezing corridor. I swallow my lines and maintain a stoic deadpan. Yeah, cut on the set and let the final credits roll. There remains no post-credits scene when the screen goes dark. Nobody ever calls cut when the bleeding is actual. The wide-angle lens captures the massive void you generated. I stare at empty monitors, replaying your sudden departure. Tears ruined in the perfect lighting, angled on your cheekbones. I lack the proper software to edit away this hollow chest. The raw footage proves that none of this was fictional. We played our assigned roles flawlessly in this indie tragedy, taping out marks of separation on the hardwood floor. You hit your cue and turn toward the freezing corridor. I swallow my lines and maintain a stoic deadpan. Yell cut on the set and let the final credits roll. There remains no post-credit scene when the screen goes dark. The burning projector bulb shatters in the vacant theater. Melted celluloid obscures the absolute edge of my vision. A sudden jump cut returns me to the empty apartment, trapped in a continuous loop of a ruined masterpiece. End of production. Who decides the exact moment a memory becomes a weapon? Staring at the ceiling fan blades, chopping up my perception. I left my keys by the mail that you forgot to open. Funny how the paper stays pristine while we are visibly broken. Jumping from the kitchen tile directly to the hallway wooden frame, trying not to step on cracks like childhood superstitious games. My brain keeps running circuits backward into mid-December, refusing to discard the oversized gray sweater. I remember synapses firing randomly inside this dim enclosure. I punch in 10 digits, begging for some kind of closure, deleting them before the dial tone can even resonate. I let the faucet run to wash away the heavy weight. Trapped inside an endless loop of maybe and almost, replaying our vocabulary, serving as your host. I lost the thread somewhere between the silence and the madness, swapping out my gravity for atmospheric sadness. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You took the iron anchor, leaving me the open ocean, drifting through the living room, devoid of real emotion. Zero coordinates, just the fading rhythm of a pulse. Spilled black coffee spreads like continents I never planned to visit, wiping it away with the vintage shirt from your latest exhibit. Cotton tears so easily when the seams are stressed out, mirrors perfectly the tension pulling us through this drought. Do indoor plans expire when the conversation halts entirely? The fern beside the television dried up uninspiredly. I should probably write a thesis on the science of neglect, deflecting my reality with every flaw I can detect. Synapses firing randomly inside this dim enclosure. I punch in 10 digits, begging for some kind of closure, deleting them before the dial tone can even resonate. I let the faucet run to wash away the heavy weight. Water strikes the porcelain, sending echoes down the corridor. I trace the crooked grout lines, wondering what I am aiming for. Nothing left to spark, but I keep striking wooden matches, watching tiny fires burn down into blackened ashes. Why did you keep the photograph if you destroyed the negative? These questions multiply, ignoring any kind of sedative, folding my remaining pride into sharp paper planes, tossing them outside into the unforgiving rains. Trapped inside an endless loop of maybe and almost, replaying our vocabulary, serving as your host. I lost the thread somewhere between the silence and the madness, swapping out my gravity for atmospheric sadness. Just the fading rhythm of a pulse, a blinking cursor on the monitor demanding I type something, but speaking to an empty room amounts to exactly nothing. Alphabets dispersing right into the atmosphere. I turn the monitor to black and watch myself disappear. Still breathing in the void, still asking the walls, still waiting for the dust to settle down.